We turn now to Ed O'Keefe. You can see him, north lawn of the White House. Still very snowy here in Washington, D.C. Ed, the president had a cabinet meeting today. I summarized what he did and did not talk about. Your takeaways.
Well, he acknowledged that a 3-hour cabinet meeting is a cabinet meeting that's run too long. So today went about 80 minutes, which makes more sense for him, I guess. And it was he who was calling on certain department heads to give him some updates on various economic matters, the release of the remains of the final Israeli hostage in Gaza, issues like that. Never pointed in the direction off to his right at the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi, Noem, and said, hey, what's up with you? Which was the ultimate sort of signal here in Washington that you're having a bad week, and while you may be in the room, you're not going to get acknowledged. The other rough sign of a bad week is the fact that the Senate right now is working through details to try to, if not avert a government shutdown, at least cause only a temporary and partial one when it comes to funding for Homeland Security. Democrats may extract some notable policy concessions out of Republicans in the coming days that would require a change in behavior for immigration-related personnel across the country. The possibility that they would have to take their masks off and put on body cameras at some point in the near future, that they would follow the same codes of conduct as local and state law enforcement. But none of that came up in today's briefing other than the president suggesting or hoping that there isn't going to be a shutdown. Take a listen.
Hopefully we won't have a shutdown. We're working on that right now. I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe, want to see it either. So we'll work in a very bipartisan way, I believe, not to have a shutdown.
One other headline out of the meeting today was that he said he has decided who is going to be his pick to serve as the next chairman of the Federal Reserve, and he'll announce it next week, Major. Very
quickly, Ed, the president also said something about a phone call with Vladimir Putin and missile strikes in Ukraine. What do we know?
He basically said he told the Russian president he should hold off on striking Kyiv for the next week because of the bitter cold in Ukraine, and suggested that Putin has agreed to do that. We'll see if that holds, but it is a sign that he remains actively engaged on that crisis, in addition to all the other foreign policy challenges he's had in recent weeks.
Interestingly, when the spokesman for Vladimir Putin was asked about that directly, he had no comment. Ed O'Keefe at the White House.